limits of tunes.
Okay. Call to order the town council meeting for January 8, 2026. If you would please rise and join me in the pledge of allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
How many of you remember the first time you ever said that? I was 5 years old. Okay, we'll start with public comments from the public on anything not on the agenda that's under the jurisdiction of the town council. Public comment? Okay, thank you. Nobody? We don't have any minutes to approve tonight, so we'll move to approval of bi-weekly claims. We'll start with the out-of-cycle claims. Councilmember Smith.
I move that we accept the out-of-cycle claims.
We have a second?
I second.
Okay, we have a second to approve the out-of-cycle claims for 122.25. Any public comment on the claims? No public comment, council?
Yes, I have a question. Could I address it to the fire chief?
Yes, you may.
Our chief, on the tab here, it says that there's a repair for rural fire, a compressor repair for $2,000. Why would we be doing that for rural fire?
So that is the SCBA compressor that is owned jointly by the town and the district.
That's why.
That's right. And that statement or invoice was billed to the district, but then we split that cost. And that was, I believe that was probably from Millen Curtis. If you looked at that, it might be Millen Curtis bill. But that's what that would be for.
What's claim number? What claim number are you talking about?
Just a second.
And that's an annual or biannual deal.
We're coming to
We also had a repair that
20104.
might have been the repair.
It is on page 5 of the packet.
That's what that is. That was on the SCBA.
I have no more questions.
Comment, council? Any further discussion from the council? Clerk, would you please call for the vote?
Councilmember Bailey? Aye. Councilmember Smith?
Aye.
Okay, next item on the agenda is claims 20121 through 20145. Any comment from the public on those claims?
You want to make the motion?
You go ahead.
Councilmember Smith.
Seeing nothing, I move that we adopt claims 20121 to 20145.
I have a first on the floor to approve the claims for 20121 through 20145. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Okay, motion's been seconded. Councilmember Bailey. Any council discussion? Any further public comment on the claims? Hearing none, just Madam Clerk, would you please call for the vote?
Councilmember Bailey? Aye. And Councilmember Smith?
Aye.
Okay, motion carries 2-0. Next on the agenda is administrative reports. Airport. Jermaine, how are you tonight?
Excellent. How are you, sir?
Very good, thank you.
Good evening, everyone. Let's see, so starting with maintenance, I think everyone's got a copy of the report before you there. Starting with maintenance, so over this last weekend, doing the lighting inspection, noticed that what we refer to as the PAPI, which is our precision approach path indicator lighting system. So it's to help pilots get on glide slope for landing. One of the two enclosures, one of them wasn't illuminating. Pulled it apart, found that the circuit board inside had blown up, was badly scorched. This same problem happened about 2 years ago, had to replace the same circuit boards. We're starting to wonder if there's something else going on. Perhaps a voltage regulator is starting to fail that feeds this lighting system. Anyways, we have a conference call with the manufacturer next Wednesday. We'll be on site and they'll kind of live coach me through some troubleshooting to see if in fact it is a voltage regulator or what is causing it. But these boards are really expensive, so we don't want to put another one in and there be some underlying condition that is causing this. So try to sort through that first before we order a new board to replace it. So right now, that lighting system is inoperable. It's been notimed with the FAA, so that notam is published. So if you're a pilot flying in, if they look at the notams, they'll see that PAPI is inoperable right now.
If I may, Mr. Mayor,
Yes.
have we contacted any of the airports that use this system to see if we have a trend?
So I actually talked to our engineer who works with so many airports. They have actually seen this same thing. They're fighting this at Thompson Falls right now. Little bit different problem. It's a grounding issue there. We went through and checked all the grounding on ours. It's all intact. We've got good impedance across it. So we don't suspect that we have a grounding issue like they're fighting. So we're not, outside of that, no, I've not contacted other airports, but our engineer who works with a lot of airports has in fact seen this, but the culprits that they have seen do not seem to be the same things that are causing ours at this point.
Is there a consortium database where you can input that question and ask all the other airports if they're experiencing this?
There is not, unfortunately. No, that would be great, but there is not. I'm hoping that the manufacturer will be able to coach us through this, and I'm sure it's not something that they haven't seen before. The downside is that this unit is not made anymore. Parts are still available for them, but parts are no longer being made for them because our system was installed before LEDs had really kind of taken over. And so now the systems that they manufacture all LED. And the incandescents just aren't there anymore. So that circuit board is the driver for all the incandescent lighting. So unfortunately, if this were to continue, at some point we may be in a situation where the parts aren't available. But right now, you can still get them. Let's see, there are a couple locations where the perimeter fence was damaged during the recent wind events. Fence has been secured temporarily, but over the next several weeks, we'll spend some time out there and make some permanent repairs to get those put back together. One panel of metal siding on the west side of the SRE building was also peeled back during the wind. So it ripped the screws, all the fasteners right out and peeled that panel back over itself. There was some damage that that panel sustained when it was kind of folded back over itself. So there's some creasing in it and a couple tears in the ribs. So I'll have to get those sealed up. But the panel's been resecured and it's back flat on the building, but a little bit of damage still to repair on that. And then there's a failure in flying lane in the asphalt, kind of right at the corner by the parking lot. It's starting to open up. It's been a bad spot. It's been kind of holds water. But over this last year, it's really started deteriorating a little bit more rapidly. So water's getting in there freezing. The asphalt's now deteriorating. There's a hole. So we're probably at some point here going to have to do a hot patch and a seal coat to try to seal that up. Ultimately, that asphalt needs to be repaired. But because there's a through the fence agreement with the neighbor, there is a kind of a debate with the FAA whether that asphalt is eligible. Right now, they don't want to acknowledge that it's eligible because of that through the fence agreement. So, like I said, we'll have to do a hot patch here though in the meantime to get that shored up. Moving on to CIP projects, Energy Systems started construction on the new fuel tank, or the new fuel farm, sorry, on Monday. So they mobilized, they've started excavating. They're out there doing a good job. The work is clean, they're keeping everything very secure. All the blankets are very well ballasted. So things are going well there so far. Over the next probably 4 or 5 weeks, they'll get all the foundations in, underground utilities, QC structure, et cetera. And then that tank is expected to arrive sometime very beginning of March. I'd expect within about 4 weeks after its arrival, the new tank will be online. The existing tank is operational and it's accessible throughout this whole thing. There'll be a couple brief periods, maybe when we have the crane there, something that'll be blocked, but those will be planned well in advance and communicated with users. Morrison Merrily, and I've been discussing kind of a strategy for bidding out, rebidding the asphalt rehab project that we didn't get any responses to last year. So this is a project that the FAA and the state funded 100%. So this is the replacement of some 30-year-old taxi lanes over on the east side of the runway, or the east side of the airport, sorry. Again, when it was bid out, we just didn't get any bidders and it was too late in the season to rebid it. So all that funding is still available. It's all sitting there earmarked for us. So we're going to rebid that out here shortly. But again, we're trying to be as early as we can, but also mindful of the fact that the FAA was quite late in releasing funds last year. And then lastly, December fuel sales were very similar to November. So about 207 gallons or a little over $1,100 worth of fuel. And then all leases but one have all been paid at this point. There's one that chasing down, made contact with the individual and just trying to get it squared right now. Any questions?
Any questions from the council?
No.
Any comments from the public? Okay,
Thank you.
building?
Included in the packet.
Okay. Finance officer?
All right, good evening. So you guys all have your cash report in front of you. You'll see in the general fund, we received our big tax payment for December. We normally see 2 a year, one in December and one in January. So that's why that is up. The report itself looks pretty good. I mean, overall, we are in really, really good standing as far as our cash report goes. We have about $4.1 million in the bank right now. If you look at the airport project, it says negative 7,000, but we're waiting for Montana Aeronautics to come in. That's where they pay 100%. So that will go away as soon as we get the payment from Montana Aeronautics. If you go to the next one, which is the statement of expenditures and budget versus actual, under the general fund, we're doing really, really good. Overall, we spent 46%. That's pretty darn good, considering that that's half the year. This is at the end of December. So we have another 6 months to go, and it looks like we're really on track to meet even maybe below budget. So that's a good thing. The next report is the statement of expenditure versus budget for all of the other funds. Like I said, that tax payment that we got in December, we got some of our payments for the lighting districts. Pretty much it's pretty simple. Nothing really too earth-shattering to report there. And then our statement of revenue versus budget. It looks like we're right on track on what we've received there. Nothing really that's outstanding or, you know, nothing outstanding to report there. Looks like we're right on track for everything. Do you guys have any questions about the reports at all?
Public comments? Okay, thank you.
Thanks.
Fire department.
Okay, you have a copy of the report in your packet. This is kind of the year-end report. So requests for service were 723 for last year, which is up over the year previous to that. If you look at the report, you're going to see down there where it says missed calls 41. That was for the year. It's not a real true representation of calls that we did not respond to. The way the program is tracking things is if we get a page to a different jurisdiction, it's not ours, then we get a cancellation page, and then it gets repaged correctly, that falls into that missed call category. If you go back up and you do, and that'd be on this report. But there's a difference of about that 41 calls from that 723. And that number is actual responses that we've had this year. Those actually have individuals logged in and responding to those calls. So there's a difference there of about 41 calls. But again, some of those are missed pages and those types of anomalies that happen throughout the year. So we're right around that 700 range for requests for service, which is right about where we've been last year or so, last couple of years. So yeah, if you kind of look at that, if you look at this as a year-end type report, 139 fire calls. That number kind of looks to me, it's an up. We had more mutual aid requests and responses this year than we've had in the past. Obviously, the big one though is medical. 523 medical calls. That's the lion's share of what we're running and doing. Tonight actually was a written exam for the EMT class that's been going on. So that's happening tonight. Once they get through this written exam, then there's a practical exam, and then there's the National Registry exam that those individuals will be going through. Out of this class, we are hoping for 3 brand new EMTs to add to the roster, so that'd be great. So that's kind of where we're at for the year. We do have some other business coming up later in the agenda. Any questions?
I do. Chief, do you ever break this down into number of calls per time of month, or time of year for like Christmas or Thanksgiving holidays or summertime? And is there a variation of age as to what kind of calls you get?
We really don't break it down and track it per se that way. We do break down in monthly medical versus fire versus motor vehicle and all those types of things. But we just don't have the overhead to break it down and track it that finite to go through and go, oh yeah, this week during this, no.
What about particular type of calls, like cardiac calls or respiratory calls or falls?
Those are tracked, yes, those are tracked. Those are all tracked and reported back through our image trend. And those all go back to the state and the EMS department.
Okay.
Yeah, that's all tracked.
Cool, thank you. Any questions for the chief?
Thank you.
Any public questions or comments? Okay, thank you. Police department.
Good evening.
Hey, chief, how are you?
Good.
Did you eat that chicken pot pie soup?
I most certainly did.
Was it good?
Yeah, but I ate everything.
I'll make a good husband for somebody one of these days.
All right, you should in your packets have the monthly report for December 2025. Calls for service, we had 106 calls for service in the month of December. So for the year, 854 calls. If you compare that to 2024, where we had 649 calls, we actually increased our calls for service by almost 28%. Our Arrests, we had 3 arrests in our juvenile arrests in the month of December for a total of 32 on the year. Traffic citations, we wrote 6 in December for a total of 96 on the year. Last year, we issued 80 citations, so we had an increase of about 16%. Traffic stops, we made 23 traffic stops in December, 191 total for the year. Last year, we made approximately 118 traffic stops, so almost a 47% increase. Traffic accidents, this is one of the bigger issues. This year, we responded to 0 traffic accidents in December, but we had a total of 43 for the year. Compared to 2024, where we had 27, almost a 46% increase in traffic accidents in the town of Stevensville. 1 vehicle total in December for a total of 4. The major crimes, homicides, robberies, burglaries, we're still sitting at goose eggs as we did in 2024, so we're looking good on that front. Thefts, we had 1 theft in December for a total of 24 thefts. 16 of those thefts were gas drive-offs, and all 16 of those for the year were adjudicated and were solved, basically. So no issues with that. We had 19 last year. So 19 thefts last year compared to 24, that's a 23% increase, even though the numbers are small, which is good for the town. Assaults and or PFMAs, which are partner family member assaults. We had 0 in December and a total of 11 on the year. Last year we had 10, so we're still looking good on that front as well. Sex crimes, we had 2 in December, and they were primarily over at the school. We had a total of 5 for the year. Last year we had 0. Fraud crimes, we had 2 for a total of 5. So a lot of the information we've been getting out to the public as it relates to fraud crimes or fraudulent activity, people calling people. It actually happened to me earlier yesterday when my email got hacked. So, but I see a downward trend in that as well. So we're looking good on that end. Last year we had 14.
So I'm sorry, Chief, don't mean to interrupt you.
Yeah.
Did you say we had 5 fraud crimes?
For the month of December.
Okay.
Oh, I'm sorry. We had 2 for the month of December, for a total of 13 in 2025.
Thank you, sir.
And that's down from last year. Sorry if I confused anybody.
Okay.
So our criminal mischief calls, 0 in December for a total of 4 on the year. Last year we had 13. So I see a downward trend on that as well. We're down 105%. Privacy and communication, we had 1 call in December for a total of 7 on the year. We had 9 calls last year. So we're down in that, and we're trending down in that as well. Threats and or intimidations, we had 1 call in December for a total of 23 on the year. Now that was an increase of 117% because we only actually had 6 calls last year. Suspicious activity, we were called out to 4 of those, and for 2025 there's a total of 24 calls for suspicious activity. There's a 34% decrease in that particular call for service because we had 34 last year. Disturbance calls, we had 1 in December for a total of 12 on the year. And that was an increase of almost 100% because we had 4 calls for service for disturbance calls last year. Unattended deaths, we had 0 for the month of December and a total of 1 all year. Welfare checks, we had 4 in December for a total of 34 for 2025, which was a significant increase from the previous year in 2024, almost 80%. Lost and found property, lost and or found property. We received 4 items of lost and found property in December for a total of 34. In 2024, we had 18. So there's an increase of that as well. Burglar alarms, we're going to be up in those. We responded to burglar alarms or 911 hangups 7 times in the month of December for 60 calls for service in 2025, which is also up from 2024. And then victim notifications, we had 0 of those, but we had 4 for the total year. Last year, we had 6. Any questions?
Councilmember Smith?
The statistic that jumped out at me, Chief, was traffic accidents.
Yes, sir.
43 for this year, and what did you say last year was 20?
We had 27 calls for traffic accidents in
My
2024.
only question about that, since that's a whole year's figure here, and you've been here this whole year. Is there a specific area where these accidents are happening that this legislative body can help,
Yes, sir.
they can help straighten out?
The vast majority of our accidents occurred from East Second on Main to the East Side Highway. We only had 2 at the S curve. We only had 2 at the S curve. Last year, we had almost 8. So that's kind of solved itself, but now obviously there are other problem areas in town. But,
So Second and Main to East Side Highway.
yes, I did 2 in one day, about 30 minutes apart at that location.
Are these kids coming from school or going to school?
Well, it's a mixture. It's, the median age here is 55, and that's kind of the way these traffic accidents are working as well. I mean, they're from juvenile all the way up to elderly. So there's really no way to pinpoint. But they were they're basically running stop signs, following too close, or, passing in the wrong lane.
Okay.
Those are the 3 major contributing factors to those accidents.
Any further council comments, questions?
None?
Anything from the public? Okay, thank you, Chief, appreciate the report.
Thank you all.
And Mr. Lassiter, Public Works, how are you this evening?
Good. I don't have much to add to the report. We did have some wind damage on the Riverside Cemetery fence that we're trying to fix ourselves, so we don't have to call somebody to do it. I think we can do it. We cut the trees off of it. We had 2 complete street blockages during that wind, and then half of another street. We got all that off that by the time midday, and then came back around and cleaned it up the next day. So that one, we got by that one pretty good. And the pool fence is blown out a little bit. I might have to get some help with that one. SCADA is ongoing at the well house. Should be done by now. There's a discrepancy from the electric contractor. Either he didn't read his contract well enough, or he's trying to charge for something that HDR is saying was already in there, that he already did. So he's kind of holding up the software license, and we should be done by now, but we're not. So they're having a little tip. So they fix it. So they'll get it. And when that's done, they're going to, and they have been sort of parallel working on it at the treatment plant too. So we'll have access to it from the treatment plant and all the way up there too, so we can have that at our fingertips and see it quickly. So other than that, business as usual. Nothing's really gone haywire. Everything's pretty copacetic.
Council, questions?
We were looking at sample water meters. I think there was like a new system that you were looking at for water meters.
Yeah,
Did those get placed? I think we got like 5.
we got 5 of them. They're placed. We had, and Virginia and I, it was really mostly for her, mostly admin, but we had a 2-hour conference call yesterday, team meeting yesterday, about how to see them on the computer, how it works with the billing with Black Mountain. It's interesting. It's really interesting. She probably gained more from it than I did because that's what she does anyway. But it gives you some really cool data. I mean, you can break it down hour by hour. You can see, when you're big, for the individual, like if it was in your house, you could pull it up on your phone. We got to talk about it. There's a 90-cent charge per month, for the customer. So we're eating that now, we've got only 5 of them, so. But as these things get more widespread, we're gonna probably have to pass that cost on. I know water's touchy. But the benefit you get from 90 cents is huge. You should look at Andrea's computer, she can show you how any of them come in and look at it. It's pretty cool, and you can tell very easily when your water is getting used, how many gallons you use. My goodness, I use 150 gallons in a shower. Okay, kids, stop taking such a long shower. I mean, there's a world of things that could help people save. It's gonna help everybody. If I could wave a magic wand and replace 900 of them, that'd be great. So this is gonna be slow. We've already got some new ones.
So how many do we have installed right now?
5.
5.
In problem areas. There were some that took precedent over others. We've got one in an easy area of control. I wanted to make sure that one, I know that one's gonna work. And then we chose ones that haven't read. The senior center hasn't read in over a year. And I see why now when you get down there, it's in the basement. It's a cinder block wall with a floor above you, So that old signal wouldn't go through there. So I'm hoping this cellular one will. It won't, maybe I can run outside, I'm not sure.
When will we be getting this batch to test?
Whenever we want. I've got meter money,
Okay.
whenever.
I know someone who would be very interested in being a volunteer for this program.
All right. Yep. I can order, I don't know, 5 or 10 more tomorrow. We can get them.
So my understanding was that those 5 were provided by the company free of charge, just so we could kind of test them out,
Yeah.
right? And then if we like them, then we can potentially
Yeah.
purchase
We
more.
like them, we keep them, they're still ours,
Mhm.
but we have to order. I don't think there's a minimum, I have to order more, before 90 days is up
Okay.
of their use. Or we have to pay for the original 5. So we need to order them.
What's the cost per meter?
About $260, about the same as the others. Plus the antenna, it's pushing 3. It was almost within like $10 of the regular 3/4 meters that we bought and that we use all along. Pretty incredible for the benefit you get, it's the same money. I thought they would be double. But they're not. But they're plastic, that's one reason, they're not brass. 20-year guarantee, 10-year full replacement, and then after the 10 years, it's prorated. So if it goes out 12 years, you still get something for it. It's a pretty good deal, man. I'm glad to be getting in on this. It'll help people, it'll help everybody. 90 cents, gotta get that too.
Any further questions from council, comments?
How's the street sweeper doing?
Well, we haven't run it since I got it. It did great on Main. Try to stay off of Main because that's the state's deal. They don't like us on there. It's doing great. At the last, I forgot what the heck was wrong. Jerry fixed it, some hydraulic line popped off or something. But a few growing pains, we had just to start with. But it's doing great.
Good.
You can tell the new brushes, you can tell things works. Yeah. In the spring, you'll see again, because you don't really, kind of a bad time to get it right now. But it's doing pretty good.
Any comments from the public? Questions? Thank you. Thanks, Steve.
Sure.
Okay, next item on the agenda is appointment of town council president. We received one email from Councilmember Smith concerning being appointed as council president. I would recommend to the council that after we have a full council, that you go back and repeat this process. That way you have a full consensus on the council. So.
All right, I will make a motion that we appoint Wally Smith as our town council president.
Okay. Is there a second? Okay, there's a first and second to appoint Mr. Smith as council president. with the provision that we will repeat this process after we are on full council. Is that correct?
Correct.
Okay. All right. Any
So
discussion?
on probation,
It also polices itself. Any questions, comments? Any public comments? Okay, council president is, for those that don't know, in the absence of the mayor, the council president can act as the mayor. Okay, if for some reason something would happen to me and I would be incapacitated or could no longer be the mayor, then the town attorney would notify the council president that he's acting mayor until such time as council appoints a new mayor. Other than that, it's just, the council president takes care of council issues. The council is the legislative body. The mayor is the executive body, okay? And of course, we have the judge who is the judicial branch. So the mayor has no authority over the council. The council polices themselves. So that's one of the reasons we have to have a council president. Any public comment? Okay, hearing none. Janelle, would you please take the vote?
Councilmember Bailey?
Aye.
Councilmember Smith?
aye.
Okay, we have a new council president. You know, it's kind of weird acting as a two-person council. The quorum of the council is a majority of those people on the council. So right now, we only have 2 people on the council, so this is the quorum. If we have 3 people, the quorum would be 2 out of 3. If we have 4, it's 3 out of 4. So that's just the way it works. We were at one time, 8 years ago, we were down to 1 council member, and she had to appoint another council member, and then they proceeded to vote and approve the 3rd council member and then the 4th council member. So that's just what you have to do. And in the event that all the council members are gone at one time, then the county commissioners, they appoint the council. So, hi Karen. Okay, next item of business. Removal of Mayor Michelson from the town bank account and add Mayor Cruz. Any public comment?
Skip. We get to the right page here.
Okay. Councilmember Smith.
I move to remove Mayor Michelson from the town's bank account and add Mayor Cruz for
Okay.
signatory.
There's a first. There's a second.
I will second.
Okay, so the motion on the floor is to remove Mayor Michelson from the town bank account and add Mayor Cruz. Any comments or discussion from the council? Any further comments from the public? Hearing none, Madam Clerk, would you please call for the vote?
Councilmember Bailey?
Aye.
And Councilmember Smith?
Aye.
Okay, motion carries. We will take care of this tomorrow. Is that what we're gonna do? Thank you. Okay, next item on the agenda. Our town attorney, Mr. Greg Overstreet, has indicated he is resigning effective 2/1/26. and has requested that the town council acquiesce to his request to terminate his contract early. The current contract is set to expire on October 15th, 2026. Mr. Overstreet has indicated that he will work to complete open items, assist in the transition, and assist in recommending a qualified replacement attorney. So his resignation email came in on 12/31. Mr. Mayor, after thinking about it long and hard, I have decided to resign as town attorney. My law practice has grown tremendously and I need to cut back. It was an honor to serve 3 mayors, numerous town council members, and most importantly, the people finding the town a new attorney. I wish you the very best. Please convey my admiration for all the town staff. They do a great job. Greg. I responded to Mr. Overstreet asking what his official resignation date would be, and he replied, February 1st. And my email, was sent out on January 5th. And it says, I have been advised that you have submitted a press release regarding your intent to resign as the town's city attorney. If this is your true desire, what day would you prefer to end your date for your current contract? I know you have pending work that might take a bit to complete, and we do not want to impede your office workload unnecessarily. I believe the council will acquiesce to your desire to terminate the contract. I also believe that you will be missed. Upon your request, we will modify the January 8th agenda to complete the action for you, and we do seek your input as a potential successor. In order to do this properly, we need confirmation by 5 p.m. January 6th, and we received it. His press release was released on his Overstreet website. Says Stevensville Town Attorney Greg Overstreet announced with the coming of the new year he is resigning as the town attorney. I have thoroughly enjoyed serving the residents of Stevensville by representing him, but with the new year, it is time for me to step back. My law practice has grown beyond my wildest expectations, and regrettably, I do not have time to give the town's legal affairs the attention it deserves. Overstreet will stay on during the month of January to wrap things up and assist with the transition. He will also help find another attorney. I wish the administration the very best yet. I don't like seeing people having to leave the town for any reason whatsoever, but I do understand when you are running your own business that you need to put your business first sometimes. And we do appreciate everything that Mr. Overstreet has done for our town and our community, and we wish him the best in the world in all his upcoming endeavors. So, any public comment? Yes, sir. Would you please come to the podium? Or if it's too much trouble, just stand.
Yeah, my name is Jim. I live down the street. Is there like a vice attorney, or are we like riding without one?
Okay, right now, Mr. Overstreet will stick with us until the 1st of February. We do have another attorney. She is a prosecutor, and we haven't talked to her yet, but we will be talking to her in a few days to see if we can just consolidate the office.
Cool, thank you.
Okay, I've also contacted another attorney who was previously an attorney for the town, and he also said that he will notify attorneys within the group that they offer or that they have that we are seeking an RFQ on the attorney's position. So we'll be okay. Any other comments? Yes, ma'am.
Christine Lundley for the record, Mr. Mayor.
I'm
Can
sorry?
you hear me? I'm sorry. Christine Lundley for the record, Mr. Mayor. If you like, I can come up or.
It's up to you,
Okay.
if you're okay.
I just had a question. So I am a currently licensed attorney in Montana. I was wondering, do you know approximately when that RFQ will be coming out?
Yes, I do.
Oh, okay.
It's next on the agenda.
Perfect. Thank you.
Okay, no further comments? Council?
I think we better make a motion.
Mr. Smith?
Yes, I move that we accept the resignation of Mr. Overstreet to be concluded on 2/1/26.
Is there a second?
I second.
Okay, I have a first and a second to approve the termination of Mr. Overstreet's contract early to conclude on the 1st of February 2026. Is that correct?
Amen. Yeah.
Okay, any discussion? Any further public comment? Okay, hearing none, clerk, would you please take the vote?
Councilmember Bailey?
Aye.
Councilmember Smith?
All right.
Okay, motion carries. Okay, next item on the agenda. As we previously noted, the town attorney has submitted his resignation and council has accepted it, so we just need permission to advertise for town attorney. Any public comment regarding the RFQ? Okay, council? Mr. Smith?
Okay, I move that we request an RFQ for the town attorney.
Okay, we have a first.
I second.
Okay, we have a second to request an RFQ for a town attorney. Any council discussion? Okay. Any further public comment? Hearing none. Janelle, would you please call.
Councilmember Bailey
Aye.
and Councilmember Smith.
Okay, the motion passes 2-0. Yeah.
Have your resume ready?
Yes, actually. Always.
You ever watch the movie Atari?
No, I have
You should
not.
watch it.
All right.
It's about job hunting. It's pretty interesting. Next item on the agenda is discussion decision, business associate agreement between the town of Stevensville Fire Department and Bitterroot Health. Chief Motley, would you please present this item for us?
Okay, so this agreement from Bitterroot Health is all part of the fact that we have entered in with an agreement with Dr. from Marcus David Bitterroot Health to be our medical director for the QRU. So that's a going deal, and as part of that, Bitterroot Health covers a portion of his liability insurance, malpractice insurance. And so they pay that for him. Therefore, we don't have a charge from him for him to be our medical director. So basically, with this lengthy document boils down to, says that Stevensville Fire Department and the town there of Stevensville, since you are in charge of us, will not disclose any personal protected information or electronically personally protected information and HIPAA violations. So it's all about our patients' personal information and their medical information and records or anything that we would have anything to do with. That's what this all lengthy thing boils down to, the bottom of it. And so they are asking us to have this document signed and on file or record with them. And the reason why it's in front of y'all is because you're the ones that get into the agreements, not I. So that's why it's in front of you tonight. It's pretty boilerproof type stuff. But it is all regarding patient confidentiality in medical records and things like that.
Jill, is this one of the items that Greg Overstreet looked at for us?
Yes.
So it has been through a review with the town attorney, and he didn't have any further comments on it. Any public comment on this item? Thank you, Jim. Council?
I will make a motion.
Okay.
Okay, I motion that we approve the business associate agreement between the town of Stevensville Fire Department and Bitterroot Health.
Okay, I have a motion on the floor to
Second.
approve, and a second, to approve the business associate agreement between the town of Stevensville Fire Department and Bitterroot Health. Okay, any council discussion? Okay, any further public comment? Okay. Hearing none, I'll ask the clerk to take the vote.
Councilmember Bailey. Aye. And Councilmember Smith.
Aye.
Okay, motion approved. Next item is resolution 578, a resolution of the Stevensville Town Council declaring certain property as surplus. I'll read the resolution into the records. Whereas the items herein of town-owned property have served their useful life for the town of Stevensville purposes and needs are no longer being used or operated by the town, and whereas the town does not anticipate using or operating said property at any time in the future, and whereas Montana Code annotated 7A4201 authorizes the town to sell, dispose, or donate or lease any property belonging to the town, and whereas the town council, that whereas by this town council, that if any property is sold to other than a county or political subdivision, bids will be taken pursuant to 754307 Montana Code. Now, therefore be it resolved, if any property is sold or transferred to a county or political subdivision, the sale or transfer shall be subject to the provisions of section 78101 Montana Code. Annotated, be it further resolved that the following items be disposed and or donated. Surplus for disposal, 3 old printers, 4 computer monitors, 1 broken monitor, miscellaneous keyboards, 8 used computer hard drives which will be destroyed. Miscellaneous watch guard monitor, outdated police car equipment, miscellaneous radar unit wires, miscellaneous radar parts, all outdated equipment, miscellaneous handheld radios and wires, all outdated equipment, miscellaneous duty belts, blue uniform shirts and pants, all used equipment, 5 police light bars, outdated equipment, law enforcement only, they will be destroyed. 2 unknown car back seats. These seats were removed from a patrol car and they put these plastic type seats in the back to protect the person being transported. Unknown police car plexiglass divider, a projector which is broken, a speaker box which is broken, unknown truck wheel which is damaged and broken, 2 unknown truck tires, 8 unknown car tires, unknown camshaft lifters and push rods used and broken. Item 17 is 3 miscellaneous desks, partially broken, not used. Surplus to donate, 3 scooters and 12 bicycles. Dated this 8th day of January 2026, after motion and second at a regular meeting of Stevensville Town Council. Any public comments? I hear no public comment, council. Mr. Smith.
If I could address this to the police chief. Noticing the surplus here is talking about belts, old belts and blue uniforms and all that.
Yes, sir.
All right, well, there's further on down the agenda, we're talking about reserve officers and all that.
Uh-huh.
And wouldn't these?
So these are items that are no longer serviceable, which is why they ended up down there in the first place.
So this is leather that's really cracked.
Yes, sir. Now, the stuff that we could provide to additional officers or reserve officers, we do keep here in this building. And so we have that in the closet, the equipment closet. And we do have a pretty good surplus of that.
Okay, thank you.
I just wanted to clarify, on page 62, we have an agenda item request for surplus, and then we go through the document, and then again on page 65 of the packet, we have another agenda item request for surplus. Does that change our operations at all or impact anything? Or
No.
is that okay that we have 2 agenda items?
Yeah, because they're basically different types. One is, he's disposing of surplus material, and the other is, like
Bicycles
evidence
or
and stuff, right?
scooters?
Yeah, so for the evidence, I'd have to get an order
Okay,
signed by the judge to be able to, and basically we have to do background, make sure that they're no longer, items that could potentially be used in a court case or anything like that.
okay,
So once all that stuff's adjudicated and I can get a destroy letter signed by the judge, then we can release those, or we can destroy or get rid of those items as well.
okay.
And I'll put that on an agenda for a future council meeting.
Okay. Did we make a motion on this?
You have not made a motion.
No, I'm ready.
Please make a motion.
Okay, get to it then. I move that we accept resolution number 578, a resolution of the town of Stevensville declaring certain town property as surplus.
Hey, motion on the floor to accept resolution 578, a resolution of the town of Stevensville Council declaring certain town property as surplus. Is there a second?
There is, yes.
Okay, the second on the floor.
Thank you.
Any further council discussion? Any public comment? Hearing none, we'll call for the vote.
Councilmember Bailey?
Aye.
And Councilmember Smith?
Aye.
Okay, thank you. Okay, next item on the agenda is discussion decision, resolution number 579, a resolution accepting donated funds from the town of Stevensville Fire Department. Hey, Molly? Explain what went on here, and then I'll read the resolution into the,
So what went on here is we were the recipients of a Christmas gift, if you will, from the Rat Family Foundation. They gave us a gift of $8,500 to the fire department to help put our new ladder truck into service and to support the operations of the fire department. So it's a pretty blank, wide open type gift. I call it a gift because it wasn't a grant as in matching funds or anything like that. There was nothing attached to it. It was just Merry Christmas, here you go. So with that, we went ahead and put together the resolution you have in front of you tonight. And that all is in alignment with the NCA codes.
basically, if the town gets a gift, we have to accept the gift and designate what we're gonna use it for. That's what we have to have. Any public comment? Okay, I'll go ahead and read the resolution, I'll call for public comment again. Resolution 579, a resolution accepting donated funds. Thank you, Chief. Resolution accepting donated funds for the town of Stevensville Fire Department. Whereas the Rapp Family Foundation has awarded a grant donation to the Stevensville Fire Department in the amount of $8,500. And whereas the Rapp Family Foundation has provided said grant for the purpose of supporting current non-budgeted expenses and operational initiatives of the Stevensville Fire Department. And whereas the Stevensville Fire Department has recently received a donated fire apparatus known as Truck 54 from the Corvallis Fire District, which requires additional equipment, graphics, and related outfitting in order to be fully and effectively placed into service. And whereas the Stevensville Fire Department has additional current and anticipated non-budgeted needs, including but not limited to the supplementation of communications equipment and other operational necessities. And whereas acceptance of these funds will allow the Stevensville Fire Department to address operational priorities without impacting or reducing the town's previously approved general fund budget allocations. Now, therefore, be it resolved by the town council of the town of Stevensville, Montana, and the town hereby accepts the grant funds in the amount of $8,500 from the Rapp Family Foundation, and be it further resolved that said funds shall be deposited and earmarked for use by the Stevensville Fire Department outside of and in addition to its previously approved budgeted amounts. And be it further resolved that expenditure of these funds shall be at the sole discretion of the fire chief for the benefit of the Stevensville Fire Department and in furtherance of its operational readiness, equipment needs, and departmental initiatives. Dated this 8th day of January 2026, after motion second and regular meeting of the Stevensville Town Council. Any public comment? Council?
No. Make the motion, please. Okay. I move that we accept resolution number 579, resolution accepting donated funds to the town of Stevensville Fire Department. Probably should add, as it was written and read by the mayor.
Okay, a motion on the floor to accept resolution 579, a resolution accepting donated funds from the town of Stevensville Fire Department in accordance with resolution 579. Will that work?
That'll work.
Is there a second?
I second.
Okay, any second. Any discussion about the council? I think it's great that community members can step up and be able to do this, because our fire department is a volunteer fire department. These guys put forth a huge effort. I live next door to Chief Motley, and I tell you what, he probably notices up in my office, but upstairs, every time he goes out, I open the curtain and look to see which truck is going, because he is going in and out, in and out. So I pay quite a bit of attention to that. I live next door to Jeff now for 22 years.
I'll quit running the siren lights.
Anyway, so I think it's really great. Okay, any further comments from the council or discussion? Okay, hearing none, Janelle, would you please take the vote?
Councilmember Bailey? Aye. And Councilmember Smith?
Aye.
Thank you. Motion carries. Okay, the next item on the agenda is Resolution 580, a resolution of the Stevensville Town Council declaring certain town property as surplus. Okay, I'm going to read the resolution into the record, Resolution 580. Whereas the items herein of town-owned property have served their useful life for the town of Stevensville purposes and needs are no longer being used or operated by the town, and whereas the town does not anticipate using or operating said property at any time in the future, and whereas Montana Code Annotated 784201 authorizes the town council to sell, dispose of, donate, or lease any property belonging to the town, and whereas by this town council, that if any property is sold to other than county or political subdivision, bids will be taken pursuant to 754307 Montana Code Annotated. Now therefore be it resolved, if any property is sold or transferred to county or political subdivision, the sale or transfer shall be subject to provisions of section 78101 Montana Code Annotated. Be it further resolved that the following items shall be disposed. Surplus for disposal: 1, 2 Tough Book computers, 1 HP Z210 convertible mini tower workstation, dated this 8th day of January 2026, after motion second regular meeting of the Stevensville Town Council. Chief Bo, would you like to speak about this equipment, please?
Stephen Lasser.
Oh, I'm sorry, Steve.
They don't mind, they won't support,
Sorry.
they won't support Windows 11.
I'm sorry?
They won't support Windows 11, they're too old. And, who was it, First Call is telling us we can't use it because, they're not, safe anymore.
Okay.
It's a security, cybersecurity issue.
Okay, thank you. Public comment. Council.
I guess we better get ready to make a motion, huh?
Need a motion.
All right.
Councilmember Smith.
I move that we accept resolution number 580, a resolution of the town of Stevensville Council declaring certain property as surplus. The property as read in the record by the mayor.
Okay, have a motion on the floor to approve resolution number 580, a resolution of Stevensville Town Council declaring certain town property as surplus as read into the record via resolution 580. Is there a second?
There is a second.
Okay, Councilmember Bailey seconds the motion. Any council discussion? Okay, any further public comment? Hearing none, Janelle, would you please take the vote?
Councilmember Bailey?
Aye.
And Councilmember Smith?
Aye.
Okay, motion carries 2-0. The next item is discussion decision regarding implementing reserve officer program. Chief Bo has asked if we would table this item until next council meeting. Okay, Councilmember Smith.
I move that we table the item regarding implementing the reserve officer program until the next council meeting.
Okay, motion's on the floor to table the item for implementing the reserve officer program.
I second.
Okay, Councilmember Bailey has seconded. Any public comment? Any council comment? Okay, Jen, would you please take the vote?
Councilmember Bailey?
Aye.
And Councilmember Smith?
Aye.
Okay, motion carries. Okay, we'll schedule that for the 22nd meeting. Okay. Okay, next item on the agenda is discussion decision regarding purchase agreement for 3 new Tough Book computers for installation in patrol vehicles, necessary and vital for officer, response and field work. Chief Bo.
So you should, in your packet, have the agenda item, also the contract as well that relates to the purchase of 3 Panasonic Connect Tough Books, rugged tablets with Panasonic keyboards. As you can see in the contract, the total cost for the 3 units is $15,311. Of that, we have $10,000 already raised from previous benefit. But it is also subject to a possible automatic price increase of up to 25%. This accounts for market fluctuations, including but not limited to tariff-related impacts. At a rate of 25%, that would add an additional $3,827. But important to note that it says could range anywhere from 0 to 25%. So it might be 5% or 10%, but I can give you the worst case scenario. With the rate increase, the total could possibly reach an amount of $19,139.63. These tough books provide a lifeline back to our support structure. They're tasked to run faster, allowing pertinent information to get disseminated quicker, provide detailed information on calls for service, and allow officers in the field to complete reports, run criminal histories, and perform general tasks, meaning less time in the office, more time on the streets, which is a deterrent to criminal activity from my point of view. And like I said earlier, from our most recent chili cook-off fundraiser, we've been able to accumulate a $10,000, check from the Reserve Association. And we will utilize these monies to purchase the tough books. And we won't know the total cost, I guess, until Ms. Gina reaches out and talks to, but potentially could be up to $19,000. The current tough books, they've kind of reached their shelf life. I like to compare it to iPhones. They're no longer Microsoft operational, meaning they don't service them or provide service to it. So what that essentially means is if in the Zerker reporting system or the CAD that we currently use or run on our tough books, there are constant updates every month. And if we're not able to receive these updates, then we lose a lot of vital information from these tough books. Much like Steve and Public Works, they're not really much use to us at some point, but they are a vital lifeline for us out in the field. So that's why it's important that we have them in our patrol vehicles.
And they call these tough books for a reason, right?
Yeah,
Okay, because they're designed to take a beating in the field.
and they do.
People have never ridden in a police car on a chase or something, where the policeman's having to run across the field. You just have no idea what is shaking apart in a car. So if we didn't have equipment that would stand the G-forces and the abuse in the field, we spend a lot more money, a lot more often. So that's why they call them tough books.
We utilize them 24/7 every time we're on the road.
Councilmember Smith.
Chief, are the 3 tough books you want to buy, are they in stock?
Yeah, if we order them, yes.
Okay, so then we would know exactly what the bill is instead of it could be this or it could be that.
Yeah, I reached out today to see, because we've been kind of working on this now for quite some time.
Yeah.
And I've gotten 3 different quotes from them, and so, I'm just waiting to see if they've increased the price or if they're still gonna order that one. So I won't know until I hear back from him.
All right, thank you.
It's a cybersecurity thing. They're not installing the security updates on those tough books. That's why they need to be replaced.
Any more questions from council?
And then just clarifying that the vendor will also come out and then set up the 3 computers. So it's gonna be 2 monitors and obviously the computer and the keyboards as well. They're gonna come out and install them in the cars for us.
They won't.
They
They'll
won't.
just send it to us, and then we'll have to work with our IT department to to get them all set up and to transfer the data and stuff like that.
Okay.
Any public comment? That's it. Thank you.
I'll stay up here. I'm
Okay.
next up.
Council?
No.
Can I make a motion or?
Sure.
Okay. I make a motion for approval of purchase agreement of the 3 tough books for installation of patrol vehicles.
Okay, motion on the floor to approve the purchase agreement for 3 top books for installation of patrol vehicles. Councilor Smith.
Second.
Okay, motion's been seconded. Any further council discussion? Any subsequent public comment? Okay. Yes, Gina?
So if the price goes up, like right now, we don't have this in the budget, so we would actually have to do a budget amendment. Are we looking at doing some fundraising
Yes, ma'am.
to cover that?
Yes, ma'am. And I'll
'Cause-
explain it for the next one too.
Okay, yeah, because there's just like, we just do not have that in the budget right now. So I don't know how we want to do that. I could ask them for a different quote to see, and then when we bring that back and then have another approval process, or would it be okay to say we can buy these tough books?
I think council's saying that we can go ahead and purchase the equipment now. Is that what I'm hearing from the council?
Yes, I think so. I think Gina's just confirming that we're approving not the 15,000, but whatever quote they give us. Is
Yeah,
that
and then
correct?
if it comes back at 18,000, do I just say, okay, and then,
And then we may need to do a budget amendment.
okay.
But do we want to revisit the amount? Because right now we're approving a quote of 15,300. Do we want to bring that back when we get a finalized quote and reapprove it? Or do we want to wait on this and approve the concept? Or how do we do that?
Well, are you approving just the amount that's listed in the contract right now? Or are you including the potential for an up to 25% increase?
I am approving the potential for an up to 25% increase.
That's the way I understand it.
Okay, good.
All right, I just wanted to make sure because I know we've been going back and forth with this company now for several months. And if they say, we'll honor this, I'm like, okay, we'll take it. And that's okay for me to do that.
Does council understand that?
That was my motion, yes.
I know.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Any further comment by the council? Okay, and just be aware, the chief is working to help pay for this using his fundraising operation.
Oh, you're selling cookies out the back of the squad car?
No.
The free cookies are in town hall. Okay, hearing no further public comment or comments from the council, Janelle, would you please call for the vote?
Councilmember Bailey? Aye. And Councilmember Smith?
Aye.
Okay, motion carries. Okay, next item on the agenda is discussion decision regarding enter into agreement for new tasers as a less lethal option. Chief Bo.
And this is in your packet as well. So currently we have 3 old Taser 2s, and they are six years beyond their shelf life. Meaning that they're no longer under any type of service contract, can't even purchase cartridges for them. So whatever we have left, after that's gone, they're done. Not anything that we can sell to another agency as well. It'll probably be a destroyed surplus item at some point in the future. So what I'm asking is for you to approve potentially the contract. And if I got some additional addendums here that I'd like to read to you as well, so that you understand fully. What Axon Taser 2, and what you need to understand is also they're the only game in town. So any police department, if they have a less lethal weapon, a taser, for example, it's come from Axon. So what they're willing to give us is 3 new Taser King units. It's the most recent upgrade, complete with holsters, Axon Virtual Reality Tactical Bag, which is a training simulator so that we can actually train with the tasers using training cartridges and the inert cartridges by wearing the goggles. I don't know if anybody's familiar or aware of that, but you can actually train with the taser and get certified utilizing the virtual reality simulator. We also get 50 live cartridges, 30 training cartridges, including a toolkit, a docking station for charging and all updates. Tasers send out updates. Axon sends out an update every month. So by docking the taser in the charging station, you can receive the updates automatically. Evidence.com license to utilize usage and video storage in the program, something that comes to us as well. Free unlimited cartridges for the term of the contract. And I'll explain that more here fully. Customer service, extended warranty. We damage a taser, we get into some type of altercation, break one or damage it, we send it back, they send us a free one. There's no cost to us. 24-hour customer service, and then on-demand training certification, meaning they're gonna train us on the taser. Now, what most people don't know is every year we have to submit the post 4 hours of taser training. So that's gonna be real beneficial and useful for us going forward. Obviously, we'll use the Taser 10 as a less lethal option and thus limit or reduce department liability, which is actually very important to the town and the citizens of the town. I've crafted a memorandum of understanding. The town of Stevensville Police Department needs specialized equipment and training to improve the performance of our personnel and reduce liability in the town. We have studied the needs of the police department and our personnel extensively and have concluded the best option for equipment and training is with Axon Enterprises, Inc. Funding for our department remains an issue and will continue into the foreseeable future as we are limited by the town's financial resources. As such, the case with the issue of purchasing up-to-date least lethal options for our police department, we believe we have a viable option to assist in funding for the needed equipment and training. Through this memorandum of understanding, we are committed to funding our equipment and training needs through funding such as chili cook-offs, raffles, and donations by community members or private parties, as we've done in the past. Saying that, not promising that 100% of the funding needed will come from the fundraising events, as unexpected costs could arise out of unforeseen circumstances. Our fundraising events last year produced approximately 10,000 or close to. And the expectation is that we receive similar results or even better in years to come. We want to provide the most up-to-date training and equipment for our department to make Stevensville a safe place while mitigating liability issues for the town. And I added that into it. Also, the contract is available to review or to look at if you have any questions relative to that. Basically, what they've provided us is a contract, a 5-year contract with all the accessories that I previously mentioned. We would, on February of this year, provide a one-time payment of $200, and then November of each year thereafter, provide a payment of $3,044.36. And then the contract would end in November of 2030.
That's for how long?
5 years.
5 years.
Yeah, which is typically the shelf life before the new. Any questions thus far? So the reason, and I mean, there are any number of things could pop up. I mean, we could, moose could hit a police car and we'd have to replace a police car. Those are extenuating circumstances or unforeseen circumstances that could happen over the course of the next several years. So, but the goal is to utilize any funding that we receive from the general public to pay off the contract without having to dip into the police department budget.
So we'll be, obligated to pay $200, you said in February, and then $3,000 in November
Of every year. Yes,
of every year until 2030.
$3,044.36, starting in 2026, November of 2026, and ending in November of 2030.
Yes, Jim.
I have a question.
Yes, ma'am.
So at the end of that 5 years,
Mhm.
is that the shelf life?
Yes, ma'am.
So that's the shelf life of the taser.
That's correct.
So then they would probably want to go into another situation like this in the next 5 years.
Probably
So
get
this would
into
be like
it.
an ongoing thing. So then at the end of that 5 years, they would have to be replaced.
Yeah, well, so what we would do and what didn't happen 6 years ago is we would receive the upgrade, like an iPhone. If you currently have the iPhone 10 and they come out with the iPhone 11, you know, they're gonna offer you an opportunity to purchase the new one, turn the old one in. That's the same thing, the same thing is applicable here.
Any public comment?
Can I ask a question?
Yes, ma'am.
Hi, can you help me understand why 3 tasers? Were you asking for 3 tasers?
Yes, ma'am.
Why 3?
Well, there's 3 of us.
Can we open that up? That's my first meeting.
I'm sorry.
I'm curious, if you say one breaks, you can send it back and they send it back to you.
Yes, ma'am.
Would it be more beneficial to have 4, so you have an extra on hand in the event that one is in the mail and shipment to and from?
Yeah, so what we would most likely do is keep one of the ones we currently have if we surplus the remaining. So we'd have it as a backup, just like we have an additional patrol car in the event one of ours goes down.
Yeah.
So the way it works, if we have one that's defective, or we have to send it back and get a replacement, we UPS it overnight and we get it back probably within 3 or 4 days. So we're not long out of service.
Yeah.
Which is important.
That's what I was thinking about. I think about the licensed people for us.
Yeah.
What's the cost of them if you added one more?
Significantly more. We're looking for like 26.
Got it.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yes, Craig.
During the training for the tasers, do the officers get tased?
No, sir. They do at the academy, so we take the ride at the academy, but additional training, like yearly in-service training that we perform, that gets submitted to state to post, or I guess MLEA. It's just an update training, which Axon provides us, the update training opportunities through the simulator and through the additional hard book. So it's like sitting down and having a training class, and then we utilize the inert cartridges or the training cartridges because they're going to send us a board background simulating an individual, and you shoot the simulation or the training cartridges into the target, and you have to get 3 out of 4. There's like standards that you have to meet, just like in shooting firearms.
Thank you.
Mhm. The training simulator, the virtual reality, sets up a series of scenarios where the officer has to think, okay, is this a situation where I draw my taser or I draw my sidearm? So it gives you options, and you have to think on the move, like real time. It's kind of cool. And I invite anybody to come up here and wear them and just look at it.
Any further comment? Yes, Craig.
My nephew said when the little red dot shows up, it changes everybody's attitude.
Oh, that's 100%. 100%. And the most important thing, nobody gets hurt.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So you can control an individual much easier. And we have options, you know. Absent a cartridge, we can dry stun people if it came down to that. So we have options.
Back in the old days, when we did a lot of firearms training, we had to be able to induce stress into the shooter. So we had what was called a FAT system. It's Firearms Active Training System. And you actually had video projection, and you were actually shooting live rounds into these screens, okay? We had a poor man system where we used a slide projector. We project the bad guy up, and the guy would have to shoot, and then you could score the hit and things like that. With this new system, this virtual reality, Okay, everything is right here, and they're actually not discharging anything. Okay, it takes into account everything, and you get to see the effects live right then and there. So it's a pretty cool system. You can do the training right here in the cop shop. You don't have to go anywhere else.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, with the virtual simulator, I mean, literally you can stand right here on this carpet facing the wall, and you're literally in a live scenario. Yeah, so.
Do you have a list where we can sign up to use it?
You get changed to
Yeah, one, you don't want to get tased. That's never pleasant. But it gives us options, you know. The continuum, the use of force continuum, you know, officer presence, soft empty hands, hard empty hands, baton or monadnock, taser, firearm, you know, just in that order. So with the taser, it gives us that additional less lethal option. So thus creating limited liability on the town or the police department, and essentially the town. And the most important thing, Miss Gina brought it up earlier, we're gonna utilize any funding that we receive through benefits and donations and things like that, like we have the last few years. We've kind of changed the dynamics of the way that works, the way it comes in, and how it's distributed out. But the tough bucks, you know, regardless of what the cost is, we would also utilize whatever spare funding that we had to pay off any debt we had for the tough bucks. Because to be completely honest with you, both these special equipment items are vital and necessary to law enforcement. So.
any further public comment? Any further discussion from the council?
Did we make a motion?
You have not.
Okay, I guess we're gonna get into that. On the,
Councilmember Smith.
I move that we accept the agreement for new tasers as a less lethal option as presented by Chief Bo.
So the motion on the floor is to accept the agreement for the purchase of the new tasers as a less lethal option. Okay,
A second.
okay, Councilman Bailey has seconded. Any further discussion? So, please take the vote.
Councilmember Bailey? Aye. And Councilmember Smith?
Aye.
Thank you.
Good job. Okay, any board reports? Okay, no board reports. Council comments.
I do not have anything.
You do.
Councilmember Smith.
I'd like to just give an applause to everybody here. Thanks for coming out and seeing how your civic government works. Glad you're interested. Keep coming. Tell a friend. And then I have a second for there's 2 out of 3 ladies over here. The town council now has a workstation. And that was a great idea. Thank you for that. And it'll be utilized, but it's a great idea. Thank you.
Okay, executive comments or executive report. Well, I've been mayor for 5 days. Well, 4 actually. Today's the 4th day, tomorrow will be the 5th day. We're surviving and learning. Thanks to the staff for handling things and keeping me on track this week, because I've been out sick with a really bad bug. And you don't want to catch this bug, because if you do get it, get some medical help, because it's a mean one. We're short 2 council members. However, I understand that at least one applicant for the seat that Cindy Brown has turned out has been, or we do have an applicant for her term, or her seat. The appointment, when filled, will be until the end of 2027, at which time it becomes a 2-year eligible seat.
Does that gentleman happen to be here?
I don't think he's here, is he? Oh, okay. Did you put yours in, Karen?
No, it's here.
You got it right there? Okay, we have another applicant coming in for the other seat. Thank you. And Karen is actually, she's very vital she will be a vital member of this council because of her background. So we're really looking forward to working with her. Okay, it'll be a 2-year term, unless she decides that 2 years is too much, but anyway, it will be a 2-year term. Our town attorney, of course, will be leaving on February 1st. We will be seeking a new council to fill that seat and preferably consolidating the office into one office. And you say you brought your resume? Okay. We'll be evaluating board appointments within the next few weeks to make sure we're rotating properly and appointing as appropriate. It's kind of hard to appoint council members to a board when you only have 2 right now. Okay, technically because they are a quorum, they can't even really talk to each other. Otherwise, we might be talking business without meaning to talk business. So. The town is engaged in various litigation, and I will be briefed on those hopefully within the next 2 weeks. And as Councilmember Smith said, the town staff has created an office space in the area adjacent to the finance officer's office that will be available to the council. The ladies worked very hard to put this thing together, and I really do appreciate it. Thank you very much for doing that. I made a commitment when I ran for mayor that I would remain highly visible. So Gina's old office space over there was vacant, so I chose to take that as my office. So you come to town hall, you look through the window, look over the corner. If I'm here, you'll see me. And if you want to talk to me, just let them know, and we'll let you in. You can come sit down and shoot the breeze with me, whatever you want to do, okay? Or if you need something private, we can always come in here. But that's the way that's the way I did it last time. That's the way I plan to do it again this time. You can ask Craig. We spent a lot of time together, didn't we, Craig? Doing all kind of crazy stuff. Watching big helicopters fly in. So I really appreciate that. The town staff created office space in the area adjacent to finance officers that will be available for the council. We haven't worked out our access protocol with that yet. It's probably better if council comes in and goes through the hallway to go in. That way it's not disturbing the flow in the office. Council members can bring their laptops, use the town's hard copy resources that they need to, so the staff will be free in doing research for the council. And you come in and do your own research. That's the way I like to do it. We've not worked out all the details yet, but I think it's going to be a step in the right direction. Town hall belongs to all of the elected and appointed officials and the citizens. We need to make sure that all are incorporated and included, and that we work forward to learn and grow as individual branches of the government, learning to use our spaces and resources effectively. In addition, this will help open the door to the staff or the council so that there's no reason why not to ask questions and seek answers needed to make good decisions. Council needs to come in and talk to the staff. Gina sits over there in her office and she's busy all day long, but she will take the time to talk to you. If you got questions about finances or anything that we have going on, she'll take care of you. And the same thing for Janelle and Adriana. They're there to help make your job easier. The power in this town rests with the 4 council members. It's not the mayor. The mayor just kind of helps oversee everything and work with the staff to kind of coordinate everything to make it work. But the council is the power. They make the decisions, and we have to help them make it right. So that's what we're here for. Okay. I have intentions of seeking council permission to form a water and sewer advisory committee so that the public can participate in studying our process and see if there's a way for us to cut costs. Okay, a bunch of heads are better than one. So I think that anybody that wants to get on that and learn about the system and see what we do, maybe you can come up with a good idea on how we can cut these costs, because they affect every single one of us in here. I just got my water bill in the mail 2 days ago. I take 2 showers a day. I don't think I'm gonna stop doing that. I've been out sick for most of the week, working a bit here and there, so it's been a bit slow. I appreciate your patience and your understanding. As part of my executive report, it is my duty to read a resignation. And I'm not particularly happy about this, but I've been asked to read it, so I will. This is from Samantha Bragg. On the 10th of December, 2025, Councilmember Bragg submitted a resignation. She says, "Hello, Janelle. I am writing to inform you that I'll be resigning on December 29th, 2025. I am sad that I will not be working with you and everyone in town anymore, but it feels like the best decision for me right now. Here's the public letter I would like to have read in January during the first council meeting of the year. If you think anything sounds off, please let me know and I'll make any changes. Dear Mayor and members of the council, please accept this letter as my formal resignation from the council of Stevensville Town Council. I've served this town with dedication and integrity, and I've intended to continue working toward its progress. However, with the election of the new mayor, it has become clear that I can no longer serve in this environment. The new mayor repeatedly disregarded my personal boundaries, including multiple explicit requests to keep my personal contact information private. This alone demonstrated a lack of professional respect toward me as both an individual and an elected council member. Beyond that, I've witnessed behavior toward town employees that I believe to be unprofessional, hostile, and damaging to morale. I'm also aware of incidents that resulted in the mayor being temporarily restricted from town hall due to the nature of his conduct. These situations have created a work environment that I consider unsafe and toxic, and I refuse to be part of a governing body operating under such conditions. Leadership must set the standard for respect, professionalism, and integrity. When these values are not upheld by the town's highest elected official, effective and ethical service becomes impossible. I am genuinely sorry for the impact this decision may have on the town and its residents. I deeply wish the circumstances were different, as I had hoped to continue contributing to the community's growth. However, I will not compromise my well-being or principles in order to remain in an environment that fails to meet fundamental standards of respect and professionalism." I'm not going to comment on this letter. I fulfill my duty to read it to you. If you stand by and watch what we do, the truth will show. And I promise you that I will do everything in my ability as mayor to conduct this office professionally and legally, and that we will proceed that way through my entire term. So, with that, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
I second.
The motion to adjourn has been put forth and seconded. Meeting adjourned.
Nice. Whoa, geez.
I think I'm gonna
send it back next
time.
I'm trying to break it. Thank you.